I knew.
I didn't know what you meant.
The heels
You know.
in
I
wrestling,
don't know what you mean.
To the end of the loaf.
they're the bad guys.
The loaf?
The
Yeah.
loaf.
What's that?
The end of the
What's
loaf.
a loaf? I
Of
don't
bread?
understand.
Yeah.
What?
Did you ever hear the heel?
Oh,
that's
right.
The, that's the slice of that's the slice of bread that no
Do
one
they
eats.
call it something different in Atlanta?
I didn't know that was a saying.
What?
It's not. Oh, God.
It's not a saying. It's just the name for that piece of bread.
That's
Yeah?
the joke.gif.
You're the end of the loaf.
I don't even understand anymore what we're talking
I
about.
don't know what's going on.
Uh,
Hello and welcome to episode 592 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, is Greg Seward, live and direct from Canada. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
And we
I'm
can't
here,
see out
aren't I?
your window anymore.
No, I got curtains like a big boy. And my Sega shelf is done.
Ooh.
Yay.
I like that. And joining me from the great state of Washington is Mr. Filthy Abalt. Hello.
Tell me, CJ.
Yeah.
You ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Only
No.
CJ will be
that's
giggling
now-
at that line for about 5 years.
I thought
That's gonna
not.
That's going to make me laugh for about 5 years. Yeah.
Not the story the Jedi would tell you.
Have you seen my chance cube?
It's a Sith legend.
It's a real shame you're not going to GDC because Seabake's going to be there, and this could be this could be a
That
whole
would
new
make-
thing.
that
That
make
could be the new
annual
Chance
dinners
Cube.
So much fun.
Yeah.
You hassling him over the chance cube.
Have you seen my Chance Cube?
Ew.
Yeah,
Yeah. So how you guys doing?
great.
Good.
Just
good?
Great.
Sure. My house is starting to come back together. It's fantastic.
Nice.
That is good.
Yeah.
I like
I have
that.
curtains.
They're
I
fancy.
see.
Thank you.
I see
They're
you clearly ironed them.
No.
You got them out of the
God,
package.
No. Time
Why?
and gravity will take care of that.
Time and gravity are nature's iron.
That's right. Nature's iron.
I'm
That's
a
how
firm
they-
believer in that too.
That's how they taught us about time and gravity in chemistry class
Yeah.
when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Greg,
Hi.
let's put this famed Canadian education system to the test. What is the chemical symbol for iron?
I don't know.
Oh, geez, Louise. Come on. CJ?
Ah.
Iron. If you look up iron on the periodic table,
The what now?
it's
The chemistry calendar.
has to do with menstruation.
Oh. Really? We're gonna
Yeah.
go with that?
Yep, that's where I decided to go with that
It's
one.
FD.
Do I
What
look
is it?
like I took a lot of chemistry?
Did you just look that up?
Yeah. No, I knew it. I did. I looked up.
At the periodic table you have hanging over your desk.
No, in our chat.
Oh, someone.
The chat is in my corner.
Oh, okay, so there it is. There it is. So, hacker alias me and hacker alias
Arius, really?
hacker Arius. Well, I was gonna say Blair
Man,
Farrell,
this-
and I
it's-
got the vowel sound started
episode
coming
is
out.
just
It's
filled with
Hacker
the old-timey
Eris. Get it
racism.
right.
Huh?
Hacker Eris.
Hacker Aerith.
That's right. From GameStop.
Do you know?
Sure does
Wanna
act a
trade in
lot.
some games? This is Aris here. You got some games you want to trade in?
I heard you took your games to another store that wasn't GameStop.
The
Phil.
copy
I'm
of Sea of
very-
Thieves is worth at least $10 if you
I'm
trade it
very-
in.
Very disappointed. You really should have bought it to GameStop. We have a vast selection of Funko Pops that your store credit would have been used for.
It's just easier.
It's so much. I mean, there's one in every strip mall. What more do you want from us? Aerith.
I don't know.
Aerith. You know, South by Southwest
Uh-huh.
is going on right now.
SXSW?
Is that where they're doing the Ready Player One premiere?
And this is how devoted I am to this podcast.
Yeah.
I could be right now at the Ready Player One world premiere.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like
I've-
you'd be escorted out by security the second they knew who you were. I feel like we really did you the favor.
If you went to that premiere, you'd probably bring a laser pointer.
Yeah.
Thing. You'd be drawing a lot of things on the screen.
You know what I would do with that laser
Penises.
pointer is I would turn it on and point and just yell out what it's from. That's the Back to the Future DeLorean. That there's Tracer. She's from Overwatch.
Yeah.
I would just do that for the whole movie. Although, to be fair, looking at the shells behind CJ, it's kind of like watching Ready Player One.
That's true. What did you think of those posters that they put out?
Those were
They like
you know what? Okay. they were terrible.
They were terrible.
But I mean, and not just terrible in the fact that it's so reflective of the book or the the just empty nostalgia, with no meaning. Well, just remember Thundercats.
That was a great
Thundercats.
show.
Thundercats are awesome.
Mhm.
Here's the Matrix poster, but we put our characters in it.
That was the marketing for Conker's Bad Fur Day, or that was the entirety of Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, I know, right?
If you want to,
But aside from just kind of the hackneyed concept behind those posters, they just looked so amateur hour.
they really looked
I
bad.
mean-
It was like EGM envelope art.
I mean, it was just like I just learned Photoshop, and here's what I'm doing on my first day
Well,
at
you
the
see,
Photoshop factory.
Phil, they had spent a lot of marketing budget before the premiere, and this was like the last $300 they had.
How many posters can we print at Staples?
Yeah, they put an ad up on Craigslist. Do you have a rudimentary knowledge of Photoshop?
Do you like fan art? Do
Disconnected.
you post on Tumblr? Do you have a Deviant Art account?
Remember the 80s?
Do you remember the 80s? If so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway,
Yep, I'm here.
let's talk about the big Nintendo news. Let's kick it off with that. Nintendo Direct
Oh, okay.
last week ended with a reveal.
Oh, here. Wait. Yeah, this is just for the YouTubers at home. I'm going to zoom my camera into my eye and see if you can see the reflection in my eye.
Is there going to be a logo in there?
There's going to be a logo, and it's going to be
My
It's
God,
gonna-
does that say Red Tube?
yeah, it does. It does. You see it, a flaming red tube logo.
All right.
There you
then.
go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So never before have I seen so many people get very excited over a logo reveal, really.
Yeah,
Really?
you know.
But
Metroid, really? The new Metroid you didn't see it like that? That seems like that happened.
I suppose so. Yeah. But this
People are more
this was-
excited for Smash Brothers than Metroid.
Yeah, Smash Brothers.
Oh God, yeah. Don't. Oh, I'm not. I would never say otherwise.
Even
Yeah.
if this game turns out to be a port of Smash for Wii U with 3DS content and new fighters, people will be psyched, super psyched.
Yeah.
About that.
I sure hope
I
it's
don't
more
know.
than that. But
Did you see the reaction video from the Nintendo New York store?
Oh yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
I also it seemed like the Nintendo New York store was loaded up with like YouTubers.
Yeah.
So it
I
was
saw a few familiar faces there. Yeah.
it was not
I think what you wanted. I think the phrase you want there's the term you want there's influencers.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah,
not
yeah,
sorry,
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
influencers.
They had YouTube influencers there. So it's hard to really judge those reactions because those aren't genuine reactions. Those are people
then
doing
again-
the so they can get a nice still frame for their YouTube video. So they all have to be doing that overhyped fake shock face.
You're referring to Captain Nintendo Dude who
I-
had a
I don't
selfie stick.
know any. I don't
Right
know
on.
any of their names.
Okay.
I know there was like half a dozen of them there in those videos, and they're all doing the same.
It reminded me though of of the E3 video, the reveal of Twilight Princess. I don't know if you remember that. Which had press in the room, and I think some fans as well. But that got like a standing ovation.
Well,
it was so loud in that room.
No cheering in the press box.
Yeah,
it's not applied to video game journalism.
No,
it doesn't.
That's the thing. Is that that's
you
the
can't
thing?
Be a
is
fan
that,
of the thing that you're covering?
Nope.
No? Oh.
That's the thing, though, is that it's hard to tell these YouTubers apart from those of us who actually got paid to do the same job years ago because we all acted the same.
Yeah, I know,
that's
right?
true.
Oh, wait a second. I'm looking at our chat right now, and there's an appearance in our chat from Superhero Video Games with Seabake76.
That is a long, drawn-out handle.
That is quite a username.
Is that our buddy? Is that our buddy Seabake?
It is.
Imagine if they rewrote the Matrix and that was the hacker alias of the main character.
Hi, Seabake. Everyone should go
turn off the chat window on Phil's computer.
Everyone should go. You're the one.
The things that are going on in the chat.
To interact with the chat.
This person in the chat just asked about this very interesting Donald Duck book that's behind me. Let me tell you the title of that book.
Hey, people want to know.
It's like
people want to know.
That's going to work great on the audio version. Anyway,
everyone should go to YouTube and watch Seabake's superhero videos.
They are quite entertaining. Alias Superhero Video Games with Seabake76.
That's right. Can we get back to the Nintendo Direct?
Oh yeah, please.
We're discussing important news.
Import being the operative term there.
Yeah.
No, the Smash Brothers reveal is big. It's coming in 2018, which I'm glad excited about.
It's a good thing it's coming in 2018 because
I
needed to.
Any safe port in a storm.
I assume that this means that it will be out for the unveiling or the launch of the Nintendo Online service in September.
That seems to make sense.
I'm hoping it comes out on Boxing Day because why not?
It won't. If it was by Microsoft, then maybe. But go all the way to the last minute there to get 2018.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about everything that was revealed at the Nintendo Direct, but I did want to point out a couple things here. First of all, the 3DS apparently is not dead because we're getting
really
a bunch of stuff there, including also a lot of ports.
A 2019 release.
And a 2019 release, with Mario and Luigi's Inside Story.
Bowser's Inside Story.
I want to hear a lot more about that Bowser Jr.'s journey because no way I'm rebuying Bowser's Inside Story. Great game. No way I'm finding the time to replay it. But if the Bowser Jr. element is robust enough, I would consider it. I mean, I love those games. So
yeah, sure.
Did you buy the remake that came out on 3DS last year?
No.
The Mario and Luigi?
No, because I own them and I play through them when they come out, and I don't really want to spend my time playing through something I've played through within like the last couple of years.
Well, more importantly, we are getting a port of Luigi's Mansion.
That'll be all over
GameCube for the 3DS.
That I will throw. I'm gonna pull an Ethan with Assassin's Creed and just throw my principles right out the window and say yes, I'm buying Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS.
I will definitely buy that as well.
But to be fair, the last time I played that game was when it came out, like 15 years ago. So I feel okay with that.
And then WarioWare Gold collects up all of the mini games in a 3DS collection.
Is it all of them?
It's a lot of them,
but it's a lot.
It says all of them.
Yeah. I don't think it's. Yeah, I will get that.
Right.
WarioWare is great. I will get that.
Those two games, WarioWare and Luigi's Mansion, I will be buying for sure. But I don't
know about WarioWare.
I wish they were on Switch. Just gonna say.
Yeah, okay. Do we have that out of our system now?
We do. Okay, let's talk about the Switch stuff that they talked about. Because we're getting a port of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and that is awesome.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. More people need to play Captain Toad.
Yes. It was a fantastic game on Wii U, inspired from the Captain Toad levels that are in Super Mario 3D World. And of course, if you don't know who Captain Toad is, remember he was in Mario Odyssey, so you should know who he is. And this game has some content, new content inspired by Mario Odyssey.
Yes,
so that's great. I also want to point out they're adding a new single-player campaign to Splatoon 2.
Yes.
And it's paid. It's a $20 extra.
See, I'm interested, but I'm interested because now that I've heard that there's a single-player campaign, that's great because that's kind of what I wanted. But now to know that basically it's going to cost me over $100 to get it in Canada,
right?
I'm saying,
yeah,
there's no way.
No,
right. It adds 80 new levels / challenges. That seems meaty enough. And then you'll also get to play as Octolings for the first time in the series. And that is something that a lot of Splatoon fans wanted.
So are Octolings a thing? They were a thing previously?
They were a thing previously. Yes, they are your enemies in the first Splatoon.
Yeah. Okay.
And
the one is it Marina?
Yeah,
the
Pearl
one,
and Marina is the Octoling.
Yeah, Marina's she's an Octoling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A member of Off the Hook.
They are octopuses instead of squid.
That's right.
You see.
So different.
You see.
Completely different. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Squid have 10 tentacles. CJ.
Okay.
Octopuses have 8.
I see. Thank you. Thank you, Professor Theobald.
Octopi is scientifically inaccurate. The true scientific plural for
I thought you were going to say tastes disgusting, but
well, no, that's also true. But no, the actual correct plural of octopus is octopuses.
Okay.
So.
We got a whole lot of footage on Mario Tennis Aces, which looks awesome.
Looks good, yeah.
Aces
I'm excited about that one.
Looks pretty great,
and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play with the kiddies. So,
and it's got motion control too.
Yeah, super excited. But they're definitely scratching that Wii Sports itch with that one.
Certainly,
which is a good thing. I'm not necessarily someone who likes them doubling down on motion controls, but it makes perfect sense for a tennis game.
Yeah, and they're going to have online tournament stuff as well, and we're going to get a sort of test serve style thing running up to the launch of the game.
There you go.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So, anything else strike you guys about the Nintendo Direct? Did you watch it?
I watched it. I mean, yeah,
we're getting a Dark Souls amiibo.
Yeah. Okay. Sushi Striker looked interesting. Is that an Android game or
a GameStop exclusive?
The Dark Souls amiibo,
by the way. Yeah,
this is GameStop exclusive. Yeah, Sushi Striker was announced last year at E3 for 3DS.
Yeah, it looks like it could be fun.
It does look fun.
Crash Bandicoot, Little Nightmares, South Park, sure. Halo Hyrule Warriors, another Wii U port.
Halo Hyrule Warriors, is that the
yeah.
That's the title. New title.
No, I think the main thing for me was the announcement of Super Smash Brothers and Mario Tennis Aces. Everything else is ports. Oh, the Kirby demo.
I was kind of more interested in what they had for 3DS than for Switch, honestly. Like Luigi's Mansion being one of my favorite games ever. Out on 3DS, that's awesome. And WarioWare is one of my favorite series. So, yeah. It's good stuff.
I'd love for them to do a new Mario and Luigi game. I mean, extra content for old games is great, but let's just get a new one.
Agreed.
Yeah, that'd be good. For sure. All right. Let's see. Fortnite is coming to mobile. You guys like that game?
That's a thing.
Okay. Well, Fortnite has kind of become pretty big thing. It's beating PUBG on Twitch in terms of streaming numbers, and I think they are about to eclipse them in concurrent users too. That's pretty big.
Oh, I know it's a monster.
Yeah.
I just haven't played it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw Good Morning America did a piece on Fortnite and video game violence.
Oh boy.
And they had
Old Chestnut.
They had some psychiatrician on who was saying
is that on their certificate?
That's right.
4 out of 5 scientists agree.
He was saying the thing that makes Fortnite so addictive is that it's so interactive.
which is pretty new. Head. Pretty new for video games.
I know video games have been around for like 30 plus years, but only now have they become interactive.
Usually it's a pretty passive experience.
I mean, the only other game that this guy had seen was Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, and that's a pretty passive.
Well,
no Neurodancer? That's his problem. Neurodancer is interactive.
Neurodancer. Oh. Anyway, video game violence is back in the headlines.
And thank goodness. It's about time.
It's caused way too many school shootings in the last, 30 or 20 years.
It's about time that violent video games got.
Is it any coincidence that Night Trap was recently re-released for modern day systems? I don't think so.
And we did recently get a Mortal Kombat game, right?
There we go.
Adding content to that. So,
yep.
I mean, those violent games.
Yep.
Very influential.
Yep.
What do you guys think
about video game violence?
Video game violence.
I think it's fantastic.
Here's the question.
I love it.
Do you think the rating system as it is now is working?
Yeah, I mean it's just its ratings. It's working as well as the motion picture rating system, right?
It's supposed to be information for parents to make a purchasing decision, not prevent somebody from playing a thing. Although,
can I go ahead and say that I feel like it should be enforceable, like by law?
Sure.
I don't know if people agree with that.
I mean, I think now almost every system has parental controls on it that are even better than the Genesis days, where it'll prevent you from playing games over a certain rating, right?
Right.
And you can even cut off play times if you want to.
I think every game you should have to go into a submenu and type in Abacab in order to turn on the violence. That should be the standard.
That wasn't in a submenu. That was just in an intro.
Oh, was it just during the intro?
Yeah. It was just during the text scroll at the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about the blood code for Mortal Kombat on the Genesis for anyone who doesn't know.
And I remember that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
As
do most gamers our age. Yeah,
I
think.
Abacab.
Abacab.
Yep.
From Mortal Monday.
Yep.
Indeed. So apparently they have TFX God in our chat mentions that there's a violence montage on the official White House YouTube channel.
Yeah, which I watched. By the
way. There was a meeting in the White House to discuss violent video games this past week, and I didn't watch the montage, but there was footage from Sniper Elite, Call of Duty, and Fallout.
Yes.
And was it violent? Was it violent, Phil?
Oh yeah.
Of course it was violent.
Certainly violent. Yeah, you had people get it. They had the what was the game with the no Russian?
Call of Duty.
Modern Warfare 2.
That was okay. Yeah, they like that because that's the sequence where you're in like an airport gunning down people, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, like that was highlighted in there. You know me. I don't play the kind of military shooter type games, and they all
except that one because it was your favorite because of all the violence.
Well, of course,
because of all the violence. Yeah,
I mean anything that lets me imagine murdering people is fine by me. But yeah, it's just I don't get into those games, so they all kind of blend together for me. So I couldn't tell you which games were being shown. I mean, I recognized the No Russian thing just because that got so much
an iconic thing.
Yeah, back when that came out. But
does it matter what games they showed? Really? I mean,
no, not really. Not really. I mean, there was, dudes getting shot in the face and heads getting cut off and stuff like that. The typical, kind of glory kill moments from whatever games they were showing. So yeah, it was violent. But it's video game violence. You might as well be showing, scenes from Hollywood movies that are equally violent and that sort of thing. So it's ridiculous.
But those are passive experiences, Phil.
Yes, and as we all know, shooting someone in in Call of Duty is
training
1-to-1 the equivalent of holding an actual gun and pulling an actual trigger.
Is 1-to-1. Yeah.
1-to-1. I mean the
Well,
the controllers today have something called force feedback.
it's just
CJ.
like shooting a real gun.
That simulates with true world accuracy the feeling.
I will say,
Yeah.
I am terrible at first-person shooters anyway, but I did go to a shooting range back in like 2011
Right.
for our friend Mike's bachelor party. Actually.
Oh yeah. This was in Vegas, right?
In Vegas, yeah. And I'm horrible at shooting actual guns. Like, I'm just not cut out for that. Can't do it.
Thank God we didn't go with you.
Can't do it.
And of course, Mike, who you accidentally shot in the leg,
He can
attest to
attest. That's right.
He knows.
No, but they had like 3 different guns for us to shoot, and one was it might have been an AR-15. I don't know. It was like a machine gun style gun.
Yeah.
Probably more like an Uzi.
It it might have been an Uzi. It jammed on me a couple of times. I never actually got to shoot it because it kept jamming, and I'm like, this is accurate because I'm not.
Sir, you're holding it backwards. Please turn it around before you pull the trigger.
You're pointing it at your foot. It's not.
Now you're pointing it at my foot.
I've never.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I've never used a gun. I don't even know what end you're supposed to blow into. This is all very.
Hacker alias Blair Farrell says they handed CJ a whistle and said, "If there's a war, blow this and I'll come help you."
That's accurate. Incredibly accurate. Oh, God. But, I mean, even back in the day, they were saying that stuff when the video games were not nearly as realistic, right?
Right.
You point to games like Metal Gear or Contra or whatever, as if it's going to inspire real violence, right?
Well, it's just another in the never-ending series of scapegoats,
right?
Where the old fogies running things don't understand these things that the darn kids are doing these days, so it's got to be bad.
I want to say that that's what it was back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
because the violence, like the famous violence hearings that happened that ultimately created the ESRB, they weren't predicated, as far as I can remember now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they weren't predicated by any major national tragedy.
Right.
Yeah.
It was literally a couple of senators whose kid wanted to play Mortal Kombat, and suddenly someone looked at it and went, "Oh my God, what am I watching?" Like, that's literally what happened. That's what triggered it.
Right.
So I think you're right there. I would say that maybe I'm just being cynical, but since then, it's just another distraction. You're right. Like, it's not scapegoating because people don't get things. It's because people don't want to talk about what the real problem is.
Yeah, that's also true.
It's a distraction. Let's wave our hands over here so nobody talks about what's over here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say what it is because we all know that it's Kinder eggs. So,
jeez, can you imagine? Kids can swallow it.
Yeah.
they put little toys in there, man.
I don't think any senator wants that kind of tragedy on their watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No.
With Kinder eggs.
Right. Yeah.
We got to do something about these Tide Pods.
So anyway, all I wanted to call out there is that I feel like it's giving a lot of politicians a pass to say it's the old fogies that just don't get what the kids are into. No, they know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know exactly what they're doing.
Through this whole thing, I really hope that the younger generation, who, especially the kids who are directly impacted in Florida, I really hope they keep their voices up. Right.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, obviously what happened in Florida is awful and you don't want that kind of thing to happen again. But I felt like this time voices were actually heard for a longer period of time than any of the other tragedies that preceded it that started that dialogue. And I really hope that continues. And I do think that trying to bring video games in the mix is trying to dilute that message.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And I mean, the same thing when you get these like despicable humans that get on television and say like, "Oh, should we start asking kids whether or not we should have laws surrounding how much homework they do too?"
Oh,
like,
that was terrible.
Go fuck yourself. That is so gross.
That is so gross.
But I think it was a tragedy, of course. Yeah. And I think it's great that these kids have a national stage.
Yes.
And they're using it. And you know what? You're going to outlive all the people that are screaming about it's not guns, it's video games.
Right.
Like, just keep it up. Keep it up.
Yep. Keep pushing that.
You have more time, you have more energy, and you have more longevity than all these people that you're fighting against. So,
word.
It's true. Speaking of longevity.
Oh boy.
What do we? What?
Here comes an awkward segue.
It's the family hour here on the Player One podcast.
Microsoft has reintroduced Inside Xbox as a monthly live stream.
Yay!
To bring their fans Xbox news. I watched some of this, but it's a 2-hour broadcast.
Screw that.
That was on Mixer.
10 minutes at most.
Yeah. But they spent the first 8 minutes of the stream just previewing the things that they were going to talk about, just like ping-ponging.
Coming up in the second hour.
And instead I watched the highlight reel, which they posted today, Sunday, as we record this. And it's 90 seconds long, and almost everything in there does not seem like it would be a highlight.
No.
So is it like we have nothing real to talk about, so let's just talk about everything and make a big deal about all of it? Is it
kind of? Yeah. I mean, Major Nelson went to Rare, and Rare, of course, is bringing out Sea of Thieves in a week and a half, which is big, of course. Yeah. And so that was kind of like
everyone for their charging everyone for their pre-orders today.
Yeah, and giving
this morning
frantic text messages to me saying that they double charged me for Sea of Thieves. That seemed to make up the bulk of the programming. And then they also had Seamus Blackley on to talk about the Duke revival.
Wow, Seamus is still alive.
He is, yeah. And but that was basically kind of it. Like, they had Major Nelson do like a presentation with a solid gold Xbox One X and a Sea of Thieves controller, and it was just weird. Like, Microsoft already does like weekly This Week in Xbox videos. It felt weird. Like, if this is supposed to be an answer to Nintendo Directs, where Xbox fans are supposed to get like a lot of news, a lot of premieres or whatever, it didn't work at all. Because like a few days before this presentation, IGN had the scoop on State of Decay 2 release date and new trailer. And it's like, why would you give that to IGN? And then you have this insider stream where you're going to be talking about Xbox games, and you've got 5 hosts for this thing. And it's a 2-hour kind of marketing message to people who already have Xboxes. It's just weird. Anyway, I think Nintendo and Sony, their original video teams are doing an excellent job. Microsoft, live stream after live stream, I just don't get what they're doing. Like, why they're doing it the way that they're doing it. It's weird. Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest.
Okay. Bring back Nintendo Minute or whatever it was called.
Nintendo Minute.
We need Dark Gary.
Exists.
Nintendo Week.
No, we need Dark Gary. It doesn't exist without Dark Gary.
Nintendo Week does not exist anymore. Nintendo Minute does exist with Kit and Krista.
Nope.
And it's awesome.
Needs Dark Gary.
You think Kit and Krista, and neither one of those names sounds like it even rhymes with Dark Gary.
It's true. But speaking of Xbox, so finally, after nearly 5 years of the Xbox One, it sounds like we're going to get direct to Twitter posting of
I saw that
screenshots and video.
I can't believe it's taken this long.
How has it taken this long? And they do have a share to Twitter function right now, but all it does is it posts a link to your Xbox profile where the story is. It doesn't actually it's weird.
odd.
It's weird that it's taken them.
So it was really yet another example of some big plan to draw everybody in the world into the Xbox ecosystem somehow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, this is posted on Twitter, and you just get sucked into the black hole that is the Xbox.
Yeah. Instead of actually just posting it on Twitter where everybody is.
Yeah.
Huh.
But that's apparently coming.
Congratulations.
Because somebody on the Xbox team, one of the VPs, actually posted using it.
So as you would hear on the Ice Cream Social, who cares?
There you go. Let's get into some what we've been playing. What do you think about that?
I've been posting to Twitter with my Xbox.
Nice.
Right?
I don't think you have.
I am a social media darling.
Uh-huh.
Are you one of those influencers, Greg?
Yeah. See.
Yeah.
He's an influencer for Sega of the mid 90s though.
Right.
Yes.
So
that.
Yeah. Phil,
huh?
Why don't you tell us about what you've been playing?
Well, dude, let me hip you to the scene.
Uh-huh.
You know
what are the hot new games? What are the hot new games?
Hot new tapes.
First of all,
and what are they rated?
Hot new. Wait a minute. Hot new softs. That's what it is.
Is that what the kids call them?
Yeah.
Mine
softs.
That's what, when you're ready, don't you remember, man? Classic EGM. You go back and look at some classic EGM. Right into the early '90s, they were calling new games softs.
They were?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah.
Them trying to make that a thing, or
I think it was just a bunch of old people not knowing that it.
Oh, I remember the hot picks. The PIX.
Old EGM was run by like 17-year-olds.
Yeah, I know, but they were calling everything soft.
And Ed Semrad, so I guess that's where your old guy came in. Yeah. No, I've been playing the latest Wares.
Juarez.
Pretty heavy into piracy lately, so I've been really enjoying a lot of that. You know, they put games on the internet for free.
What?
You can just download
Where?
There's all sorts of places. You know, Wares sites and
Wares BBS and
torrents on the torrents.
You don't actually do that.
You can go to torrents.com and find all the latest.
By the way, don't go to torrents.com.
You know what?
I don't know what's there, but I'm guessing it can't be good. So just don't go.
Probably.
Don't whatever Phil's telling you. Don't listen.
If you don't want your computer anymore, if you want your computer to immediately stop working,
literally melt down before your eyes.
Torrents.com is probably a great place to go for that. But otherwise, I would probably.
A thread has been.
You know what? I'm not even gonna look it up.
I wouldn't.
I'm not even gonna punch that in just to see, just to like, because we're cracking wise here.
Yeah.
And normally I would be like, oh, I'm just gonna check that out just to see what it is. But you know what? I'm not gonna.
Good idea.
I'm not gonna.
It's like the early 2000s when you went to Zelda.com.
What was Zelda? Was it like a porn site or something?
It was a porn site, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, there you go. There you go.
At a certain point, I think like 2005 or 6, it might have been later than that, actually. Nintendo got control of Zelda.com.
Oh,
it took a while.
Oh boy.
It was a porn site up.
Squatters rule.
Wow. Oh man. That's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't pirate games, folks.
No.
Don't copy that floppy.
Having a bit of fun. No.
Winners don't copy video games.
No.
They do drugs.
Yeah.
They do lots of drugs.
Lots of drugs.
Lots of them.
Legal marijuana.
I do live in Washington.
Hey man, just Canada in general. We did.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that right? Oh, look at that.
We are all baked all the time.
Way to go, Canada.
Greg's baked right now.
We are the easy bake oven of countries.
That's why he's got those blackout curtains.
Yeah.
He's got black lights on the Sega stuff, and he's just gonna like.
That shit is amazing.
I went to the store this afternoon. I ran out to the store, and when I came back home, I'm pulling into my complex, and as I'm approaching my parking space, I could just smell weed.
Mary Jane,
crazy. Like it smelled like I had driven into a bong, and I was just like, "What the hell is going on? Why does and like my windows were rolled up, and I've just been snorting cocaine, so there's no reason why my car would smell.
But your senses are heightened, of course.
Yeah, but my senses are very, very heightened because I was on a lot of cocaine.
Right.
But I pull into my spot and
went and get the Keith Richards Happy Meal.
I look over and like 2 spots down from me, there is a minivan
filled with smoke
with a couple of teenagers in it. And you could barely see anything. The windows were not tinted, but you could make out forms of these kids in there because there's just all this smoke swirling around and it's like spilling out like cracks in the window.
They've actually backed up the ventilation system in the car. It's just all.
Yeah, they were just doing some experiments with dry ice. It was fine. Fine.
So there was at least 2, maybe more, teenagers just locked themselves into mom's minivan,
hotboxing it, man,
and were token like crazy. And I was just like, "You guys are insane."
That's kind of one of the things around here because they're legalizing weed all at a federal level,
right?
But they've kind of left it up to the provinces to deal with what that looks like.
Okay.
So like there's a lot of questions around like, are you allowed to smoke it walking down the street? Like, are you worried about smoke? And what about driving under the influence? That's a whole different thing because the way the testing works, I think it reads like if you even smoked a joint like 2 weeks ago, it'll still show up in the testing. Okay. So yeah, it's like it's going to be a big mess for a while. There was a big argument over even where it was going to be sold here.
Oh yeah,
legally. So yeah,
because
good times.
I'm just like, so clearly these kids are just trying to avoid smoking in front of their
responsibility
parents.
In any way.
Well, there's also that. It's Sunday. School's tomorrow, man. That's all.
What about Sunday school?
They have nowhere else to go because Toys R Us is gonna maybe shut down the stores.
Oh, that was sad. Sad story.
That's a very sad story.
You know what? When I mentioned I went to the store, I did go to the local Toys R Us.
Yeah,
that was my. I did.
Is everything $5 yet?
You're lucky that you have one because like all the ones around me have closed or are closing.
Well, I have the worst possible Toys R Us near me. The Toys R Us here in my town is just awful, and I'm surprised it survived the first round of store closures because it is just a terrible location and just they never have anything there. But I did decide to swing by today just to see if they had started marking anything down, which they didn't. I'm assuming they will start tomorrow because that's the day when they're supposed to announce the liquidations and all that stuff. So. But I also heard that they might be closing the stores like as soon as next week.
Like
so,
that's
a week.
Wild.
Yeah. So
wild.
This was just kind of I'm going to make one last trek to Toys R Us.
Where the hell are we going to buy toys?
Target,
Amazon,
Walmart.
I guess so.
Every place where you've actually been by. Like, when's the last time you actually went to Toys R Us to buy toys?
CJ? But right before Christmas. Yeah, really? I got my daughter's bike at Toys R Us and bought a bunch of her Christmas presents at Toys R Us.
Okay. Kids usually go buy Lego at Toys R Us. They get money to buy Lego because Walmart's selection here sucks.
Walmart is not great at
the
toys.
Walmart by me is terrible. Yeah,
Target's not great with toys.
We don't have Target here, so
we have near me. There is a really nice Target and then a terrible Target. So.
Yeah.
So Canadian Target?
I suppose so, yeah.
They were bad.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah, they didn't last long, right?
No, that was. You should look up. Actually, there are a few great articles about what went down with Target in Canada. I think you probably find them really interesting. That was a complete debacle from start to finish.
I remember seeing the pictures from those articles with just empty shelves, and it was.
And that's really what they were like. The targets that we had here. I didn't go when they first opened.
Yeah.
Because. Who wants to be in that crowd? And it was crazy. Right. Everyone was, everyone said amazing. It wasn't great. I went about like a month later. I went in for the first time, and it was empty.
Ooh.
And no word of no exaggeration whatsoever. There were aisles upon aisles upon aisles of completely empty shelves, not picked over, not like a box here and there, like literally empty.
Wow, just like looking as though it had not been stocked at all.
That's exactly what had happened.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it was like that right up until the last day.
That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. So these kids were smoking away from mom, and
mom was in the apartment smoking too.
Well, the thing is,
how
it's
does this tie into what you've been playing? That's what I want.
I don't know. I don't know how we got on this topic.
We started the segment a long time ago.
Then Phil went and smoked up and fired up BMX XXX.
That's right.
as you do on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking these kids, if they're trying to hide their smoking from mom, they've locked themselves in a vehicle. I mean, they're going to come out stinking like Berkeley.
Yeah.
You know,
stinking like Berkeley.
It's not like they're going to go back in the house and mom's going to be like, "Oh, where were you kids?" Nowhere, and they reek like.
I think you'd be surprised how many people think that they actually get away with that because, hey, I have my mom's been smoking for years and she still thinks that we all think she doesn't.
Oh, really? There you go.
It's like, no, that smell is pretty distinct.
Yeah.
Not weed. I mean, she's smoking cigarettes.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she does smoke weed too. I don't know.
Hey, it's legal, man.
That's right.
So I have been playing a little more of Part-Time UFO. Which continues.
You still liking it?
Oh, I love
Part-Time UFO.
Part-Time UFO for iOS by HAL Labs continues to be excellent. I actually rolled credits on it the other day.
Really?
Yeah. You can roll credits without having beaten all the stages, which is what happened to me, just inadvertently, because as you progress through the game and earn medals and stuff like that, you unlock more stages, and you start unlocking several stages in advance of where you are at, so you can kind of start skipping around levels and going further into the game and whatnot. And slight spoilers, I guess, for an iOS game, but who cares?
Yeah,
nobody.
At one point, I unlocked a stage that was on the moon. And I was like, oh, a moon stage. I'm going to go check out this moon stage. And I go to the moon stage, and then it turns out that's like a big final boss fight. Oh, and you go through and do the little boss fight, and
there's a boss fight in this crane game.
It's actually it's a multi-part boss fight.
Interesting,
like a 3-part boss fight.
Play more of this
using the little claw grabbing mechanics. It's very cleverly done.
It would have to be.
Yeah, but I ended up rolling credits on it, and I'm going back and
John Riccardi 100%ed it. So
did he really? Good on him.
It's a great to keep our podcast to equal with 8.4.
Okay. Well, we're
we're so close to that.
We're not. Let's not kid ourselves. No.
True. Yeah.
No. But Part-Time UFO is outstanding. I love it. I also picked up you guys like the Switch, right?
Sure. Who doesn't?
I've heard of it.
You like ports?
I love ports.
Don't you have to like the Switch?
No. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I picked up Flint Hook. Came out on the Switch. I talked about Flint Hook on the PS4 a while back. But it just came out on Switch. And it's $15 on Switch. And I had, I should say, $8.60 of Nintendo eShop credit thanks to my gold coins. Because that's
like the 500 Microsoft points they sent out for birthdays years ago.
You had
50 cents.
You had the equivalent to $8 in Reggie bucks.
I had $8.60, 8.6 Reggies is what I had.
Okay.
Because I had a collection of gold coins from the My Nintendo program. So I used that to roughly knock the price of Flint Hook in half. And Yeah, picked it up, and there's still an outstanding little game.
Yes, I picked this up as well.
Oh, did you?
I because I had the equivalent of 15 Reggies.
Whoa!
Damn.
So
you got it for freebies.
This was free to me.
Wow.
So it may have been a port, but I paid nothing for it.
Well, you buy all digital.
Free ports
are best ports.
You get more points for buying digital than you do for
more gold coins. Yeah, you get more gold coins for digital.
Yep.
Oh, but you have to you pay for that by having to buy memory cards.
Lower quality of life.
That's true. Well, on my
think of all the extra fractions of a second you spent swapping out memory cards, CJ.
That's true.
On my 200 gig card, I recently cleaned the fridge a little. I did the archive.
See, there's 2 minutes you're never getting back.
Yeah.
The archive function on the Switch, by the way, is quite nice. It will leave the icon there, and of course, you still have your game save. That saves to the internal memory,
right?
And you can re-download the game if you want to play it. But I freed up another 40 gig of space, so I have 80 gig free on my 200 card.
Damn, son.
Oh, jeez, man. Oh, just
probably a weight off your shoulders.
It truly is. Now I don't have to spend the $180 to get the 400 gig card.
Man,
it was on sale on Amazon.
That is
for one.
I don't mind telling you, CJ, it moved a little bit here in that story. Just a little.
Your Switch?
Halvesies?
Just a little. Just a little.
Halvesies.
Woo! Flint Hook.
But yeah, Flint Hook is fun. Have you played that game before?
I had never played it. No.
Yeah, it's great. It's it's a roguelike. It's got kind of a Rogue Legacy feel to it, except you, instead of just kind of running around the castle and stuff, you are you have kind of a hook, a grappling hook that you use to latch onto little grapple points scattered all over each screen, and you're flipping around and swinging around enemies and stuff like that. It's really well done. The control is great. Looks really nice. The music is outstanding.
Truly, and that intro is great.
It's great. It's a great little intro as well. Limited Run Games is doing a physical release of that as
Very
well
cool.
on the Switch. It's going to be one of their first Switch releases through Limited Run, and I may actually invest in that as well, just because I like that game so much. So
it is a lot of fun.
Why the hell not?
Yeah. So I've been playing that, and you know what I've been diving into this week, mostly, however, is I'm making use of that Xbox One that I picked up.
That's good. Getting your money's worth
by playing an old game. I've been playing Crackdown.
Nice.
I've dove back into Crackdown, and I have to tell you, I was very nervous about going back to Crackdown.
Now,
you guys know how much I love Crackdown. I have talked ad nauseum on this show about how much I love Crackdown. One of my favorite games of all time. Certainly one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of that particular generation.
Yes.
I love Crackdown.
I was Crackdown.
Very scared to go back to Crackdown because
what if it's not as good as you remember?
Exactly. That's exactly it. I mean, it's
you predicated the purchase of your entire system on the fact that it's as good as you remember.
Yeah. It's not as old as this podcast. It came out after we started.
Jeez.
Because we talked about it on the show.
This is so stupid. A waste. What a waste. What a waste of a life.
All the Sunday nights we could have done anything else.
I could have been playing more Crackdown. How many hundreds of hours of Crackdown I could have gotten in.
Do you remember when we used to schedule this show on a different night every week?
How did we do that?
I don't know.
By the way,
that was.
How did we do that every week?
That was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But so I was nervous about it just because it is old. And I was thinking, oh man, what if it's not as much fun? What if the controls are not as good as I remember them being? What if it looks really ugly? Just there's so many potential downfalls to dismantle my love of this game. But holy cats, man.
Still good. Still good.
Legitimate great. Excuse me, I have just gotten so involved in that game again. It is wonderful. You know, and I'm like I said, I'm playing it on an Xbox One S. So I don't even have the fancy
4K goodness.
I don't have the fancy 4K graphics that come with the X upgrade. But it still looks fine. You know, it doesn't look bad.
You know what though? I think part of it is it didn't look all that great on the 360 either.
No. I mean, it's not a.
Let's be fair. It was not a graphical powerhouse when this game was unveiled at E3 way back when. It looked like ass.
There's a reason why it was packaged with that Halo demo.
Yeah, screenshots of it looked like shit.
Yeah,
and then it came with that Halo demo, and we all bought it for the Halo demo, and we're like, "Whoa, this thing is a legitimately good game." Also.
Yeah, no, it's not a beautiful game, but it does. But like I said, it doesn't look bad. It's not a terrible.
No. It's a game that when you play it more, you start to really appreciate how stylized it is.
Yeah,
because it doesn't. To me, if I remember correctly, it didn't really come through at first. Like especially when you first saw footage of it, that it's got kind of a like almost a toon shader happening, but it's like but with a very like neon color palette almost, and it's a really weird look that that's how I felt about it, is that the more I played it, the more I appreciated this game does look good.
Right.
It's just you're not aware of how good it looks at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it you know, like I mean it looks whatever, but it still plays great though.
Yeah.
Like the control is really, really good. You know, running around,
locking on,
aiming, locking on, and especially climbing up, scaling buildings, jumping over buildings.
Yep.
You know, finding ways to
realizing you're
climb up some of those super high buildings.
Playing the secret best superhero video game ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you definitely are. And it is a brilliant little game, and it's so much fun. And just the gunplay in that game is really satisfying.
Yep.
You know, just, jumping your way, climbing your way up.
Footage of that on the White House website, is there?
No, there was not actually. But yeah, no, locking on to dudes, jumping over buildings and shooting down on the streets below as you do it. You know, seeing an incoming car at some enemy car and shooting a missile at it so it explodes on the road. Just before they even get a chance to pop out and attack. And then even the because the point of that game, the actual goal missions of that game is you're supposed to find and track down all these crime lords who are all holed up throughout the city in different areas, and you need to track down their lairs. And even that, just the map is so smartly laid out, and those enemy strongholds are so smartly laid out, and with such smart enemy placement. Just even you see, okay, here's an area that is very clearly where one of the bad guys is, and you can storm your way into the stronghold through the front gates, or you can go around the side and try and climb up undetected and get to the roof and then work your way down from the inside, or you can jump into the water and swim around behind there and climb up some rocks and find a back way in where you'll avoid detection and maybe make a path straight for the kingpin and kill him. It's just it's just really satisfying to play that game. Just there's this world where you can really sort of do anything, and it's still a ton of fun, and I absolutely adore it. I love Crackdown, man.
Hell yeah. I just hope that the third Crackdown, when that comes out, that
I hope it don't suck
justice to it, because for a while there I wasn't sure that Microsoft knew how to replicate Crackdown. I mean, sort of like a happy accident maybe for them, where they struck gold and they didn't even realize it until the thing came out, because they didn't even sign the team on to do a sequel when the game released. So yeah, I mean, are they going to be able to replicate it with this third game? Footage of it from E3, like, it's not even on Microsoft's official account, YouTube account. You have to like go to somebody else's account to see the live stream, and it's not even real-time footage. It's like pre-recorded gameplay footage that they had on, and it looks like Crackdown, of course, and it looks fine to me, but for some reason I don't know, like, they're even holding back from that. It's like they don't know if what they've got is going to be good enough, and it's just this weird, hopefully it's not a case of, too many cooks, or like too many being pulled in too many directions, and hopefully they have somebody with a vision directing this thing, because it could be really good. And they have Terry Crews on as one of the agents, which is awesome. And I just want it to be good. I just really want it to be good. Either way, at least we have backwards compatible Crackdown.
Yeah, really. I mean, a lot came together really, really well to make Crackdown as good as it is, and I think that the fact that it did not come together as well for Crackdown 2 kind of speaks to how, I don't know if it was luck or skill or a combination of both that made the first one happen so well. But I think it's going to be tough to recapture how good this first game is. But I really hope they do.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm still just having a blast, just running around collecting all those little agility orbs. I love it.
Great.
I love it.
When you get more powerful, that little animation.
Yeah, with all the light kind of getting sucked into you, and very empowering. Yeah.
So good.
It's great stuff. Great stuff.
Nice.
That's what I've been. A lot of Crackdown.
Nice. So I loaded up some stuff on the Xbox One as well. I played Burnout Paradise Remastered, because that came out for EA Access members, and I can play 10 hours of it and get some achievements for it and not have to pay anything for it. So there you go. Played a little bit of that, and I still feel justified in my opinion that Burnout 3 Takedown is better than Paradise.
Well, that's just,
and
it's not really an opinion.
Yeah, I had played the 360 game in preparation for doing that Back in My Play episode, where we talked about Takedown, but I didn't remember how they had implemented retrying events. So we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, Greg, where you can retry events in Paradise. They patched that in. It was a post-launch thing.
Yeah, it used to be that you had to stop in the middle of a race and you had to be stationary for a couple seconds so the game would recognize that you wanted to leave the race, and then you had to turn around and drive back to the start and re-trigger the race.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. But they put it back in, and I couldn't remember where it was, because I hit the start button and it brings up a menu and it doesn't have anything about restarting an event. You hit the back button, nothing. So I had to Google it to figure it out. And you press the right directional on the D-pad and it brings up a menu while you're racing. You can restart the event. So it's in there in Burnout Paradise Remastered. Originally, I thought maybe they didn't put it in, but they did. And yeah, I don't feel like the racing is as fun in Paradise as it is in Takedown. It's not. Like, I would have a lot of close calls with oncoming traffic, which in Takedown, you get a fair bit of boost for that, and I wasn't getting any boost for that in Paradise. And I was like, what do I have to do to get boost in these races? Like, because at least early on, I was doing way better than the computer controlled cars, but I didn't have any boost, and I had to like look at the side of the road to see if there were any jumps there in order to like get air to get boost. And it just it's not as great as I as I even remember having the time I had when it originally launched, because I did buy 2 copies of it on the PS3 and 360.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? I don't know. I think what a lot of people remember about the game is the time that they had with their friends jumping off cliffs into the quarry, or like doing races with friends online. And in that respect, I still think Takedown's better.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I played a whole bunch of the Sea of Thieves final beta, which was going on this weekend.
So I'm curious, what are all the features in now?
All of the features are not in. No, they opened up one of the other quest lines, so the Merchant Alliance, and this is a quest line where you have to hunt down specific animals and bring them to specific locations in the world.
Okay.
So it was either chicken or pigs, and they would say, like, collect 2 red speckled chickens and bring them to Dagger's Tooth Cove or whatever. And first of all, I don't know what is on a lot of these islands, so I don't even know like where the chickens or the pigs are. So a lot of the time it would be me and a crew like driving around the map looking for an island with pigs and chickens, and it doesn't seem like that quest line is going to be all that fun. At least not until I know more of the map. And know which islands are going to be reliable for finding chickens and pigs.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing how this goes, because I really enjoyed my time with that game, but I really, the final set of features needs to bring a lot more to the table. So,
more in what respect?
More things to do. Because for me, I've played in 2 different betas so far, and it was just the treasure hunting, which is cool.
Yeah,
but I just want
Gold
there
Hoarders
to be more. And I'm curious too, because I'm assuming that there were a lot more other people around.
No,
in this final beta. No, okay,
not necessarily. No, because each instance of the world still has a maximum number of players that can be in that space. Right? It was just like the previous betas in that respect. So
they need to add a scurvy minigame.
So the faction that we have not gotten to play yet is the one that gives you bounties on specific legendary pirates, which are like skeletons in the world that you can go find. So that's the one that is being held for the final release. But I did find that I played a little bit solo and a little bit with other crews. There is no way when you see another ship that they are not going to fire on you. Like nobody goes through the game.
That's what I was asking. Really asking.
Thinking that I'm just going to, I'm doing a Gold Hoarders mission. So, I see another boat. Let's just continue on our merry way.
We've done that.
I think we've done that, yes. But most often, my policy when playing Sea of Thieves is I'm not going to shoot first. Right? If they want to shoot,
you're going to sink first.
My policy is I'm going to sink first, possibly. But I think people have been trained from playing shooters all this time to always engage. Like if you see another player on the horizon, you have to go there and sink them or kill them or whatever. And in Sea of Thieves, it's not like you get any points for that. It's not like you get anything for doing that, but people still do it. And I was playing with Pete Dodd last night, and this other sloop of 2 guys, they like started firing at us and started harassing us. We didn't have anything on our ship of any value. There was nothing. There were like 2 chicken crates, and only one of them had a chicken in it. And
the other one's just for ambiance.
Yeah, the other one, we couldn't find a white feathered chicken, so it was just sitting on the deck. Anyway, and to cash those in, you have to have a Merchant Alliance quest active, so they wouldn't have even been able to get any money for it. So they start harassing us, and we do like a 180 turn using the anchor, and I hop on their ship and go below deck, and they had like a captain's chest. So I ran down there and took the captain's chest and jumped off the boat. And at this point, they were taking on water, and our ship was basically sunk because Pete was dead and I was I was in the water at this point, and they were about to sink, and I took their captain's chest, and they lost everything. We lost everything, but we didn't have anything. So,
except for that chicken.
Except for the one chicken. It wasn't going to get us anything anyway. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens when the game comes out, whether people will still have that I must attack everything that I see mentality. But right now, that is kind of.
I feel like that's going to be there at first, and then hopefully it kind of peters out, and when people get bored and the people who are more interested in actually playing the game stick around a little longer, I hope.
Oh,
that would be good. I'm interested in that. But yeah, we'll see. I think that sort of gameplay has also like soured people's first impressions. I saw a number of people who played the final beta as their first experience with the game, and they went out on their own, which I would not advise.
Mm-hmm.
And without a microphone, or they played with people who didn't have mics, and it's like, don't do that because you're going to have a terrible time. So, and there's no tutorial in the final beta. Apparently there's going to be something in the full game, but there's no tutorial in there's terrible betas. Yeah. So we'll see. It comes out in like a week. I'm excited about it.
GDC.
I'll be at GDC, so I won't get to play it until I'm back. But
that's okay. We'll get past the first day's server issues, and
yeah, we'll get past all that, and then see how things are going. But I'm excited about it. I played, God, like before this final beta, I had already played 19 hours of Sea of Thieves.
Good Lord, man!
And I played Friday night, most of the day Saturday.
Yeah.
So I have clocked in a lot of hours on Sea of Thieves. That's what I'm saying. But I'm excited about playing the final. And that is all that I've been playing. So, Greg, what do you got for us?
I want to apologize, first of all. Anyone who's been watching YouTube, I've been yawning like crazy, and I'm sorry about that. My son has a hockey tournament that's started this weekend, and of course, we lost an hour this morning, and I'm just dying here. My body really wants to be asleep right now. I finished Call of Duty 2 Big Red 1, that old Xbox game.
All right.
World War II. Man, I'll tell you, and I'm so bummed that people didn't like Call of Duty World War II, because playing this again, it's one of the few sort of World War II shooters that I hadn't played through, and reminded me how much I missed that setting for a shooter. It taught me that I wasn't interested in shooters so much as I was interested in World War II games. But kind of cool, because I mentioned this before, it actually follows sort of the path of the 1st Infantry Division, United States in the First World War. You go through Africa, you go through Italy, parts of Italy, and you land on the beach on D-Day, and you work your way to the German line. I don't think it was the border of Germany. It was whatever line was there in occupied France, I think. But and then it's over. But they pepper it throughout with real footage from World War II, with like fake newsreels that are voiced by Mark Hamill, which is cool.
Cool.
And then, of course, I had bought the special edition, and this was back before, a special edition would be like if you get a making of that they actually you just download nowadays, right? This was actually a different disc that was pressed with all of that material on the disc. So they go through and they talk to Treyarch. This was the first game that Treyarch was actually involved in the Call of Duty franchise, which is cool. It was they have a bunch of the cast of the Band of Brothers that talked about doing the voice work, and they talk about the reverence that everyone involved in the Call of Duty franchise has for the history of World War II, and it's kind of interesting because of what that series finally turned into.
Yeah.
But they're this was when Call of Duty was so huge, and it was just sort of gaining steam. This is, of course, there's an ad on there for Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360. Anyway, really enjoyed it. Had a great time. I really miss that setting, but I still don't think I'll be rushing out to buy Call of Duty World War II anytime soon. But I really did miss the Call of Duty and Medal of Honor games from back when they were, World War II games. Although I saw that Black Ops 4 has been released or been announced. Black Ops 4. Also a Treyarch, yeah. So I thought this was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that this was their first sort of foray into this type of game, this series. They had, and I'm sure this is kind of poor timing for this, but they had a bunch of footage of them sort of shooting the classic World War II weapons as well, sort of old Italian rifles and things like that. It was really neat. I love that stuff. So, and then I also played Donor Request this week, which was Metal Gear Solid on the Game Boy Color.
Oh,
nice.
Fired that up again. Yeah, the old Ghost Babel, which is what it was called in Japan. It was just called Medal of Honor here.
Or Metal Gear
Solid.
Oh, sorry, Metal Gear Solid. I'm so tired. They all have metal. No, it's not even the same spelling.
Nope.
Anyway. Oh, God. So
you're gonna do great in the game show that we got going in the Patreon feed.
Oh man.
So this is an awesome little game, and it was fun. I was so glad someone requested it because Game Boy Color had some great games. Like the Game Boy had a great library anyway, but it really, like, the Game Boy Color really resuscitated the Game Boy business, in my opinion. If you weren't a Pokemon fan, like Pokemon was a thing, but like
some might say it's the only thing.
Yeah, there you go.
Some might.
But man, there were some really, really great games on the Game Boy Color. It seemed like it brought back a lot of the creativity and a lot of bigger names. And so this was Konami releasing a Metal Gear game. I think it was I forget which development group it was. It's a non-canon version of Metal Gear. It's kind of reimagining of, I don't know if it's Metal Gear Solid or the original Metal Gear. And it's just so good. It's that classic overhead camera. And it's just the sneaking mission, but everything's broken into missions. So there's a level. You're in a level each time.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, that you want to get through as fast as you can. The thing that I was really struck by, and I remember, I was going to say the reason why I was really excited to play this is because I remember being so crazy about this game before, and it was actually when I was still at Ziff Davis. I worked on a strategy guide on this game. With Mark McDonald. He and I worked on it together, and I think it was actually for an issue of Pocket Gamer or Pocket Games, whatever Ziff Davis's magazine was called.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also a title game or a cover game for Expert Gamer at the time as well. So it was kind of neat. But anyway, the thing that I was really struck by when I was playing this the other night, and you can check out the archive on one of my YouTube channels, Generation 16 Extra, by the way, new YouTube channel. Is how much they managed to do with a 2-button interface. Like the game, well, I shouldn't say, it's actually 4 buttons.
Well, they use select and start
too. But man, it's really versatile. You can do a lot of things. Like you can crawl under things. You can hide in tall weeds. You can crawl underwater to hide. You can tap walls to get the attention of a guard. There's just a lot you can do with just a very, very simple interface. It's really impressive, and it plays super smooth. And the other thing that I was really struck by is like the pixel work in it is okay. It gets the point across, but the animation on the enemy characters in particular is really impressive. And I think I must have missed it before because I was mostly playing it on a small screen. But even little things like they'll stop and like you'll see one of them will sneeze, or like they'll stand there and they'll sort of stretch their necks like that. And there's tons of little animation flourishes in the game. And there's a bunch of VR missions in there too as well. So it's a really great little game. If you have not played it, I highly recommend checking it out. I've always remembered that I really loved it, but I've forgotten really how good it is. And it's it's like a 6 or 7 hour journey. But it's absolutely fantastic from start to finish. So highly recommend picking that up or finding a way to play it however you want. Totally cool.
Well, hopefully if they do a Game Boy Classic, they would put a game like this on it.
I would love for that to be on there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And the only other thing that I played this week, and I'm actually really shocked that neither of you talked about this, is there was a Kirby demo on the Switch this week.
We talked about it last week.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Someone paying attention.
Someone was on the show last week too.
To be fair, I pretty much switch off when you guys talk about it.
Ouch! You switch off. I downloaded it. I just didn't get a chance to play it yet.
It's a Kirby game.
It sure is.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Oh yeah,
you'll love it.
Nice.
Is I guess the friends that follow you around are new? Is that a new thing?
Yes, that's a new thing.
Mostly, because I really don't know.
Yeah,
it's new to be able to have 4 friends.
Because most of us only have 2 friends, on this show.
No.
Anyway, I didn't have much to say about it. I just brought it up because I thought it was weird that you guys skipped it, only to learn you didn't. So, moving on.
I am excited about the full release this week.
Yeah, was it Friday?
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it?
That's it.
That's all you've been playing?
That's all I've been playing.
What do you want from him? Jeez.
Yeah, what do you...
Well, nothing. I needed some time while I scroll down to the tweets.
You know what I'm doing next, though? The next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to finish up all my remaining sets of Lego Infinity.
Oh, yeah?
Lego Dimensions?
That's what I said. I'm so messed up tonight. You know what? Did I mention weed is legal in Canada? I'm just kidding. I've never smoked that in my life, but I always use the edibles.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
All right.
Yeah. Lego Dimensions. My goal is to finish off all those extra sets now.
Nice.
Well, yeah, Target in the US, all of them are like 50% off.
Means nothing to me.
Clearance. I was tempted to buy a few, but haven't yet. Anyway, I think it's time for tweets.
It's time for caffeine.
Tweet. Caffeine.
I'm gonna go make some tea while you do this.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
No, I'm not really. I should. But...
Okay. Let's do this one from hacker alias Benjamin Rivers, who says, what's one modern game you would like to play as an 8 or 16-bit demake?
Silent Hill. It's not really that modern anymore, though.
That'd be a good one, though. I'd accept that. Sure.
Yeah. Last of Us might be interesting.
Oh yeah,
that would be a remake.
Uh-huh.
You know, make it a little Metal Gear-ish with kind of stealth sneaking around.
Yeah,
as well.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah,
that would be a good one.
See how that would play as a side-scrolling.
I'll tell you what, guys,
or maybe an overhead perspective game.
I want to say this last 2 minutes in the show has been a big win for all of us. Those were all great suggestions.
Wow.
All right, then.
That's our show for this week.
Right. George Costanza.
All right, let's do this one from hacker alias Selling Time, who says,
okay,
in the vein of Cool Spot or Chester Cheetah, what licensed non-game property would you most like to see made into a video game?
Licensed non-game property.
Fido Dido.
I think you can make a...
It never came out.
Did it not come out?
No.
Oh, okay.
You can make a pretty good Lost Vikings clone with the Cinnamon Toast Crunch chefs.
I don't think the Cinnamon Toast Crunch chefs are active.
They're not a thing anymore.
They aren't?
Of course, now there's Fido Dido, but...
This is how long ago I bought Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, man. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is
But how have you not seen those commercials?
I haven't looked at the box to see whether the chefs are still on. You could replace that with Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
There you go.
Done.
Yeah, there it is.
Lucky from Lucky Charms.
Aaron Esurance isn't a thing anymore, but there could have been a good character action game based on Aaron Esurance.
Yeah.
Remember Aaron Esurance?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Remember
is that the
Esurance? It was kind of like Kim Possible looking.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that now. Yes.
He was like a spy, but she wanted you to buy insurance.
Yeah.
You could.
Did you know the Esurance people stopped using Erin Esurance as a character because there was too much porn of her on the internet.
Not surprising in
that is a true story. The Esurance people were horrified to discover that when you looked up their character on
the top responses from Google were all porn.
Is that also why the Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
And yet the Keebler people don't care.
Right?
Ernie Elf, bring it on. Dude loves his fudge stripes.
God. What about the Geico Gecko? You could make a Gex clone.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Clean. Let's say Mr. Clean. I don't know.
Oh, there you go. I don't know. I have no idea for a Mr. Clean game.
No? It'd be like Serial Cleaner.
What?
There you go. Done.
Serial Cleaner. What? What does that
where
mean?
You're mopping up blood and entrails and stuff.
Oh, I see. We were talking about like.
I feel like that wouldn't sell any Mr. Clean, but.
Okay.
My mind went to cereal with a C.
With a C. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see how that would happen.
I feel like we've answered this.
Okay. We'll move on.
How about a game where you are the Burger King king and you got to sneak around a neighborhood, jumping.
What about one where you're in a little go-kart and you? I
don't like the idea of a go-kart. What about a mini bike?
Oh yeah, a mini bike.
Mini bike would be better.
There was the bumper game. There was like a bumper car game though.
Big Bumpin'.
Yeah, Burger King, Big Bumpin'.
Yeah, I remember.
I have all of those games still.
Are those backwards compatible on the Xbox One?
I don't think so.
I want to say at least one of them is.
Well, if you're gonna have one of them, it's got to be Sneak King.
Yeah, I want to say
Yaris. Let's be real.
Poor Yaris.
Probably Yaris.
Poor Yaris.
Well. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Space Kappa, who says, what is the one gaming item you don't own that you'd love to bring home someday? Could be a game, system, display piece, marketing item, anything.
I would like, and this is, again, I have no idea what these go for. The money is no object, and space is no object because this is big.
Right.
And I have no room for this. But I would love to have one of the Pokemon Snap printing stations from Blockbuster Video.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to explain that real quick because a lot of people probably don't know what that is.
They probably don't. No.
So Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap for the N64, which was an outstanding game. And I say that as a fan, not as an employee. But Pokemon Snap was a great game.
You worked for Blockbuster?
I worked for Blockbuster Video.
Okay.
Wow, what a difference.
Come on in. You can rent a Virtual Boy. No one else is renting them. But you could you would take pictures of Pokemon in Pokemon Snap and you would save them to the cartridge. And then what you could do is you would take your cartridge into Blockbuster Video and you would go up to the counter and you would give the Blockbuster employee X number of dollars and they would give you a little Pokemon Snap themed credit card type card. And then you would walk over to this giant machine and it had a screen on it and you would plug your cartridge into the machine. You would put your little Pokemon gift card in there and you could then print up all of the pictures you took on little stickers. It'd be like one of those little photo sticker booths that were all the rage back in the early 2000s.
Were they that tiny? The stickers, or
I believe so. I think they
really,
were, if I remember correctly,
size.
Okay.
Well, no,
it hardly seems worth it.
Well, you'd get a sheet of them though. You'd get It's not like, oh, here's one tiny square sticker.
Yeah.
No, you would get a sheet. And if I remember correctly, you could choose a couple different images, so it's not just like, here's the same image printed up 30 times. You could pick a handful of images, maybe. But you could print out.
And how many times did you do this, Phil?
I only did it like once or twice
a week.
I mean, the machine eventually had to run out of stickers. They could only load so many sheets of stickers into that machine.
They saw you coming in. They're like, "Oh God, the machine's out of order, sir. Machine's out of order."
Man child again.
It appears
it's like a 4-year-old girl that get out of my way.
It appears that someone has just inadvertently kicked the plug out of the wall. Perhaps if I just bent over and plugged it back in, we might see a better result.
This is the voice that gets CJ.
It is.
So Sam Raimi, could you tell me more about your latest film? Why, of course I can.
So you want the Pokemon Snap printer?
I would like the Pokemon Snap printer.
Can we repeat the question? Is it just like a?
It's one gaming item you don't own that you'd love to bring home someday.
Yeah,
could be a game, system, display piece, marketing item, anything.
I don't know.
I'd love
to have a copy of Tetris on the Mega Drive.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Oh yeah,
but only worth about $10,000 last I checked.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, you got money to blow on fancy new curtains. I don't see why you can't put some of those funds towards a Mega Drive Tetris game.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Pac-Man machine, arcade machine.
Arcade machine.
Yeah.
Would you want a stand-up one or a cocktail unit?
Stand up.
What?
Yeah.
I said if I had to choose one arcade machine, like if I was able to have an arcade machine, there's only one, it would be Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, I'm with that was going to be my second question after the stand-up or cocktail. Why Pac-Man over the
Miss Pac-Man? So much better.
Vastly superior.
You're right.
Are you just going for iconic?
I'm just going for iconic. Yeah,
okay.
Which is cool. I mean, Pac-Man's awesome. So
yeah, I'm not gonna
either that or Popeye. I'd accept Popeye too.
Oh, no.
I'd totally buy one of those.
Popeye's nerd cool. You got lots of nerd cred for going Popeye instead of Pac-Man.
Yeah. And you gotta like the design of those old Nintendo arcade cabinets.
It's true. Popeye for Smash.
Popeye for Smash.
Never gonna happen.
Saw it on my Twitter feed first, folks.
That's right. Okay, should we the show? That's the end.
Hey, I think one thing I would really like to call out here, because people always bring it up in the chat and people bring it up on Twitter and everything else.
What's that?
What's that?
Ethan is not officially off the show.
Yeah,
that's true.
All honesty, he has not told us when he's coming back.
No.
So we are not. We haven't told him he's not welcome. We're not hiding anything, or we're not keeping any information for anyone.
To be fair, we told him he's not welcome every week he was on the show.
Anyway, my point is seriously though,
to me as well.
When he accepted the new job, he said he wanted to take a break from the show, and I said, "Hey,
he did not give us a timeline."
And I said, "Hey, just let me know when you want to come back." And when we record at the same time every week. Just let me know, and we even post the link in Slack so he sees it, or he has access to it. So he can come back anytime.
Yeah.
So just want to let everybody know, because I know people keep asking, and I know people want him back, and so do we. But he has not reached out, and
he's enjoying.
When he lets us know, he'll come back.
He's enjoying his new job and not having to record a thing on Sunday nights.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there, because it seems like we just kind of ignore those questions at the beginning of each show every week now. So I just wanted to say something about it.
Okay.
Is that good enough for you, jackals? Is that what you want to hear? The precious Ethan, he can come back anytime. You don't have to put up with us.
True.
Well, no, we'll still be here.
We'll still be here.
CJ, dumb old Greg, obnoxious, irritating, pebble in your shoe, Phil. You don't have to deal with us necessarily.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something that you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website where you can find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Go read about Racing Aces.
Yes, indeed. You'll also find new Generation 16 episodes.
That's right. The new episode came out this week.
Nice.
Lakers versus Celtics. Even if you don't like sports ball, go check it out.
That is, yes.
Basketball.
Sorry, that's what I said.
Particular sport.
Yes. You'll find show notes, which has all the relevant links to everything that we talked about. Most everything that I can find a link to anyway. There's also a message board where we discuss video games and things like the content of the show with us and our other listeners. Hey.
Don't ever do that again.
No? Little Boy Blue. Yeah.
Wow. I gotta say, an hour and a half ago when we started the show, if you told me there's gonna be an Andrew Dice Clay reference, I would not have believed you.
Okay. Ethan may not be on the show anymore, but please welcome the Dice Man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Oh! Hey, diddle diddle. The cat and the fiddle and boobs. Oh!
Who was his? Oh, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane.
Ford Fairlane.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I remember that movie.
Oh, boy. If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast.
Oh, here we go.
This again?
I'm good with it.
PlayerOnePodcast.com or by going to Apple's Podcasts application. You can also head over to the App Store and invest $1.99
cheap
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. It gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also quite cheap.
Find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace for us on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out archives of our show and watch us live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It helps CJ. Oh, golly. What does it do for CJ?
Keeps me swimming in Sea of Thieves controllers.
Oh, look at that.
Sure is pretty.
Look at that. That's why you tune into the YouTube, folks, so you can see CJ rubbing a Sea of Thieves controller all over his unmentionables.
Yep,
that's right.
Yep. Did you actually lick it right there?
No, of course not.
Put your tongue out.
I'm not.
Of course not. What do you mean? Of course not. Why? Here's an old Game and Watch game. Look at that. This here's Popeye Game and Watch, and look at that. Look at this. I'm just gonna go right here.
That's great.
There we go.
And we release an extra audio feed for patrons of $5 a month.
That's true.
You can get special shows like the one we're about to record after this one, which is a little game show Phil versus Greg, and it'll be real fun.
So you first time hearing about this.
Yeah,
this is the first time hearing about this.
Yeah, you better get that brain warmed up there, Phil.
Oh boy! Well, I did just have a Game and Watch in my mouth, so through osmosis, that's got to account for something. Hey, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to generation-16.com where you'll find the Patreon link to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Go check out the new episode, please, and please leave a comment and let me know what you think of it. I hope you enjoy what you see, and I could really use the support.
Greg?
Mm-hmm.
Greg, I love Gen 16.
Thank you.
And you know I do. Now I'm on your YouTube channel right now. I'm on the Generation 16 YouTube channel, and I'm not seeing the new video.
That's because I was going off the fact that this is going to get published on Tuesday, and I'm going to be posting that new video right after we're done tonight. So,
okay,
boom. Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you for destroying the illusion, Phil.
I broke the illusion. Sorry, folks.
Fourth wall shattered.
Well, you know what? There's like a dozen people. Oh, I'm sorry. There are 35 people watching this live right now who are going to be like, where's that new episode? He said there was a new episode, but there's not one to be found. So it's
going to sound like?
Yes, it is.
But you know what? If they're new to the show, they've got 100 and some odd other episodes they could watch.
That is true. Go back 113 episodes. Your most recent one, not counting Super Hoopers, was Hard Driving.
Mm-hmm.
Or Hard Drive-In.
Drive-In.
Yeah. Which is episode 113. So there you go. You got plenty to catch up on.
Plenty to watch.
There's going to be a quiz.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, go throw Greg a couple bucks because Generation 16 is great.
Thanks, Phil.
I am a fan. I would watch even if I didn't feel obligated to watch it because I am.
Which is more than CJ does.
Well, hey, I watched the Hard Driving episode.
What was your favorite part?
The hard driving.
Where Greg talked about if you drive too fast, you can crash into the ground.
I understand.
Crash into the crowd. What?
Ground.
Crash into the ground.
Yeah.
That happens all the time when you're driving your car. You just randomly
crash right in the ground.
Like the car flips perpendicular to the ground and
the windshield cracks if you bump the front of the car.
Yeah, that's true.
That just tells me you have seen the game Hard Driving before. Yeah. Not that you actually watched Greg's video.
It started as this simulation.
Okay,
program.
That's a little bit more.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll give you a pass on this one, Johnson.
Yay.
We'll quiz you on another episode next week.
I'll accept it. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hold on a second.
Serious listening.
I think Alexa heard me say something.
Is it laughing maniacally again?
Oh, God. That's frightening.
It's awesome.
That news story is absolutely frightening.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Okay. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to thank you is what's going on.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
I'm trying to thank you.
Okay.
And my Amazon Echo started talking.
Mm-hmm.
Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
No, I appreciate it. And I guess we'll see everybody next week.
We will. Bye, everybody.
Ooh.
And don't stop recording.
Ooh, you telling this to have the people at home?
Don't stop recording. Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I burped.
Ugh.